Hey family, this is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation Show. I just wanted to come on a little bit. Uh, Happy Christmas Eve. Happy Christmas Eve. And I hope y'all are ready for Christmas. This is normally a downtime, during the holidays for me. And not just me. It's hundreds and thousands more of us that, during the holiday season, we tend to go into this state of depression. Now, for me, what I tend to do, it takes a lot of work to stay positive during this time. Somebody sent me a message, and they was talking about how they had lost their mother, so they cooked their mother's favorite meal just in memory of their mother. I lost my mother when I was 26, so that's well over 35 years ago. Because I'm 62. I'm 62. Uh, it's 35. And every year around this time, now I'm gonna tell y'all, this time, I'm talking about of the holiday season, I'm not as bad as I normally would be, you know, and I don't know if that's because I'm older now. So your acceptance level is a lot more different. You get me? So and then I have an outlet where a lot of people don't have an outlet where they can come on to their live stream. So this is my TikTok live stream over here. And I have directly in front of me, I have a Restream broadcast network that when I come on, I'm sitting on the couch. So I'm streaming to 5 other platforms with my Restream broadcast network. And I've been trying to embed my um, TikTok into this, and I've been trying to embed my Instagram into my Restream platform. That will give me 7 platforms that I will be streaming to. So I have to use my phone, my phone onto my TikTok, and then I have to use my other phone for my Instagram, which is over here now saying that it's a poor connection. Some days it'll act right, some days it doesn't. But most importantly, uh, people, because I'm public, people can see my lives around the world. And that's the reason why I'm public. Um, I have people in the UK that I talk with. I have people in Africa that I talk with. Normally the United States is not a problem. That's where most of my stuff, California, Texas, y'all can see this from the United States. It's more analytical, or what's that when you look at your how your broadcast is going and everything, and what cities that it broadcasts to the most, and continents as well, right? So the goal is to grow this, but what I did on my TikTok is the couch conversation show, and I meant my Instagram. It's the couch conversation show, but I like the word the couch talk with Steve Copeland. And I want to share this with a lot of y'all, right? When I used to live a defiled lifestyle and, that manipulating, that lying, that hustling, and all that type of stuff, right? Um, I've been away from that lifestyle for 31 years now. Now, to me, I didn't know or I didn't realize that you can live an honest way of life. So for a lot of y'all that don't understand, I had to change my old ways of thinking. I have to I had to I had to change people, places, and things, you know, in order for me to live, I'm gonna say the life that I live today. So what I do whenever I come on, the goal is to make other people aware of, you know, how I used to live and how I live a total different way of life today. Because a lot of people don't realize you must change your old ways of thinking or you're going to keep practicing the same old behaviors. If you don't learn to listen, and that's what a lot of people fail to see. They hear what you're saying. They can hear you well, but certain people, whenever you hear them coming from their spirit or their heart with communicating, if you study in your mind and you focusing on the words and maybe what you can say afterwards, you're not really listening. And I learned this. I learned this throughout my years. So that's why if you hear me say stuff like listen to learn and learn to listen, listen with your spirit. Because sometimes what people say might not make sense to the mind, mainly if you're not there with certain things, you know, thinking wise, because that's where you at. So a lot of times you have to, in order to relate to a person, you have to move your ego, you have to move your pride, you have to move what that self-centeredness or that self-centered behavior from yourself away, like moving yourself out the way to listen. Now I had to learn all this as a church going man, you know, as a person that does what he do around in Baltimore City, as a person that sponsor men and women, as a person who has a housing program who deals with the homeless and the less fortunate population. I have to learn to shut my mouth down to listen to them in order to help them. If I'm steady running off in my mouth, and I will cut you off from letting you complete whatever sentences or whatever communication you're trying to put out, if I'm so busy jumping in, because what I got to say is real important, I had poor communication skills. You have very, very, very poor communication skills. If you never give a person a chance to finish saying or getting their point across, you have very, very poor communication skills. Because it's like you want to dominate, you want to control the conversation, even though they're trying to tell you their truth, but you will turn around and you will start screwing up their truth to fit your narratives. I hear it a lot on TikTok. And it's not the bash TikTok. Now, the point of me coming on, one, because I'm bored. I'm bored. And I'm in the house by myself, basically. And I'm bored. Now, a lot of y'all who may not know about Steve Copeland, I am a community activist. I am a human rights advocate. So, I was trying to share with some people the other day. I choose not to vote, even though people like Martin Luther King and them fought for the rights for us to vote without being discriminated against. So understand the reason why we do what we do. I made the decision because I began to see the corruption that goes on with certain things. Now, we want to sit here, and it's my whole purpose of coming on because I came on to talk about your voting rights and how politics and religion, and I'm talking about corrupt or organized, right? Not every politician is corrupt. Not every religion is corrupt. But I'm talking about organized when they use it to enslave and oppress the people. This is the type of stuff I speak out about with the organizations or the fighters that I'm with. So if you don't really understand that and why I do what I do with the people. Now, I made the personal decision. I haven't voted since Barack, but I will fight against any laws that Congress make. You heard what I just said? Not the president. That Congress makes that will hurt the community or the population. The president either is going to agree with them by signing that bill, or the president might veto the bill, but Congress can pass it anyway. And a lot of y'all just do this, but you don't do your research on who actually have the power and authority to actually do certain things. Now, I came on here, and like I said, I can't think of your name. But when you come for me, you come for the wrong goddamn going bald head, big mouth dude. Let me tell you something, man. When you come for me, you come for the wrong bald head, big mouth dude. Because I didn't choose this walk of life, fighting for people's civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. I didn't choose it. I was called. So a lot of y'all that run off at your mouth and don't really understand, listen with your heart. I was called into this by God. Even though, and I sent this message to somebody today, because I'm just looking through my civil rights, which was violated. I'm on home monitor. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start doing my deeper research and how my rights was violated as well. Because I have the freedom of speech. And you know what they doing now, right? They getting, I have that right. And you know they're getting to the point now with TikTok, Facebook, all of these social media pages where you can only share but so much, or you can only speak so much, or they're going to violate you. And this is your rights. But out of respect for others, for the reason why they made these, guidelines for the communities, out of respect for others getting offended, that's why they have community guidelines. And if you want to be on certain things, you want to respect the guidelines. What? Why the heck you going off? You shouldn't be going off right now. I'm talking about my charger. This goddamn ankle thing. Should be going off right now. Make me think they listening to what I'm saying. Oh, we got to get him off of there, put him on back on the charger. But now, to go back here, this is their way because of what I went through with the police department. the officers. It was 2 YTs. So now, because I'm keep it here, because I want you to see something. That's why, and I'm gonna say this: a lot of y'all come on platforms like this and you run off at your mouth. To me, you a bunch of suckers. And that's not being smart, because see, you can come on here and you can talk about things, but you won't confront the right people with it, like your politicians. You won't personally. And see, that's why a lot of people get mad at me when I start pulling cards. But don't get mad at me because I'm speaking the truth. If you are afraid to confront the people that's causing all this chaos and confusion in our lives, we got to come together to get stuff done. So you can vote for whoever you want if you choose to vote. If you don't want to vote, you have that right. Some people have never in their life voted. Do you think I'm going to sit back and tell you, that's why Trump got in? That's why I love you just because you didn't vote. No, that ain't why Trump got in. It was the people that voted him in. And be honest with you, look at the people he was working with. Mainly Elon Musk. Very brilliant man when it comes to technology and stuff like that. Did y'all forget? You got to look at the people that he surrounded himself with. Mainly the ones that know more about technology. Know how to play with numbers. And to be real, they're going to put in who they want to put in. No matter how you vote. I'm just saying it. They're going to put in who they want to put in. But you got to realize who create the laws, who create the policies, who write these, our legislators. Now, what I did, right, and I want to thank you, Mecca, because she sent something to me, which I was reading it, about why Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, people like them, who we was voting ever since, I'm gonna say, the 1870s. We melanated people been voting ever since the 1870s. But it was discrimination that they would approach. They would approach them. It would shoot, let me watch it. It was the racism that they was confronted with when they would go to vote. So in 1965, they made it legal for people to vote. They could already vote, but they made it legal. But the difference in it, it was without racism or discrimination. That's why they passed the Voters Act in that sense, so that melanated people can vote without being fronted with racism or hatred or bitterness. That was the point of Martin Luther King and them marching. And not only did they march, like for your civil rights, your equal rights, your constitutional rights, right? They also march for fair wages. They also march for the Affordable Housing Act. Why can I say that? Because that's what we do as a community activist or community organizer that works with organizations to fight here in Baltimore City in the poor neighborhood for fair housing and fair wages for melanated people. So when you have businesses or companies that's discriminating against, and it's not just the melanated race, and I found this out too, or culture, It's not just us. There are a lot of businesses. There are a lot of corporations. There are a lot of politicians. There are a lot of millionaires, your billionaires, that will keep their foot on the necks of the low to moderate or the poor people. If you live in a middle class life, or you're not living that life where you have to actually rely on the state and the government, you will never truly understand. You will never. If you working and you being responsible and you being productive and you paying your stuff and you don't really look, and your credit scores like 600, 700, 800, you do not have to. And if you do, then something ain't right with how you managing your life, your finances, and all that. You do not. If you have a person that's making $3,000 a week, $2,000 a week, and they are going to church, they have no problem donating or I said donating, tithing that $100. If you're making the 200, 2,000, the 200. If you're making three, they don't have a problem with it. Because, and I'm telling you this from a personal note, when you being obedient to what, like helping with, because I go to a big church, right? Large church. So it's bills in that church that have to be paid. Some of y'all just, I hear what y'all saying, but you never really understand unless you in it. Now, my pastor had to get a loan for $6 million to build this church. So they have to pay that loan back. That doesn't come straight out the pocket of the pastor. If God laid a vision on them, because the church is really starting to grow more, they're going to add more on to the church, like building wise, stuff like that. I've seen this personally for myself. That's why you don't hear me on here talking about, well, the pastor's stealing this, the pastor's stealing that. They brought our pastor a Rolls Royce. And guess what he did? He got rid of it. Because he did not want that stipulation on him like a lot of people. He's stealing the money. He doing this. He doing that. Most of your pastors get a salary. The pastors do not own the church personally. It's a community thing. So I hear a lot of y'all, and I hear what you're saying. But if you're not involved in the building of that church, you will never understand. I've seen how we added on when we start growing. We only had a certain amount of churches. Bathrooms, where we had to build a couple of more. So people wouldn't have to really stand in line like that to go to the bathroom. So I listen to a lot of y'all, and you don't realize when you say negative stuff like that, you is saying stuff that will stop that non-believer from coming in. And I'm sharing to you from my personal experience of getting involved inside of my church. I drove the van. I became an usher. I was on the men's ministry as far as singing and stuff like that. Until I became ordained a deacon. And it's not that I stopped those things, even when I stepped off the deacon ministry for stepping outside my marriage. I stepped off the deacon ministry because I felt like I failed God, not none of y'all, okay? Not even my wife. Let me make that clear. Because there was a good chance she probably wouldn't have never forgave me for stepping outside the marriage. So I didn't cheat on her. I went and I laid with someone else. So I took this body and slept with someone else. It wasn't cheating on her. I cheated on me. Because I went against my morals, my values, my principles, not hers. Now, she had to live, accordingly to God for herself. That's why a lot of y'all get it screwed up. He cheated on me. She cheated on me. She did that. She did this. I don't do that. Because 9 times out of 10, if that woman or that man go and cheat, it's a deeper issue. It's a deeper issue that's going on with them that they aren't addressing. But y'all know everything, right? And I'm only sharing with you now my personal experience, okay? Get out your head. Because I was sharing this too with some people the other day. When a person telling their story, if you don't understand or you say like you never experienced it, you will not truly understand why. Because you're going to ask why, and I was listening to y'all. You're going to ask why, and I'm telling you why, and it's like it flew way over their heads. Well, you such. Why didn't you just leave the marriage? I wasn't trying to leave my marriage. Because when you do stuff, you do it undercover to kill a feeling going on in me. That's why y'all need to listen. You need to listen and learn while you're listening. Because I'm going to tell you this. A lot of us have a tendency of doing crudball stuff. And it feels right, don't it? And you know you're 100% wrong. But when you do the opposite, it feels right. It doesn't feel like what you're doing is wrong. But you're wrong. And see, I understand that. If you're talking with me, I understand it. I understand that it's personal for you. And whatever reasons that's going on inside of you, you're not addressing those issues. So I understand personally. Because I can relate. A lot of y'all can't relate. If you never stepped outside your marriage, when you was in a relationship with somebody else, did you step outside of that? So if you married or you in a committed relationship, it's no different. Oh yeah, but I ain't do it while I was married. But you cheated. Don't justify it now. Because we'll start justifying and rationalizing stuff. Ew, y'all ain't used to them words? Huh? I sponsored a lot of men and women. But I didn't know, because of me doing transitional housing, and I deal with the homeless and the less fortunate people. I'm dealing with people that fell on hard times for whatever it may be. It could be job-wise, it could be depression, or just, being irresponsible, not knowing how to manage right, whatever. But when you come into Steve Copeland's life, for some of you that don't do what I do, when you come into Steve Copeland's life, I'm going to talk with you and see where you might have, where those issues are at, so I can point you in the right direction to get the professional help that you need. So if you come to me for help, and if you're lying to me, then as you telling me your lie, this is what I'm going to adjust your help around. So I try to encourage and motivate our people in being honest with themselves, having faith back in themselves, trusting back within you, so that you can be honest with your communicating with somebody else, or not feeling like they might judge you because of this, because of that. You got to be comfortable within you to go to the proper people to get the help. That's what Steve Copeland do. I didn't realize, because of me helping people and turning their lives around, until this lady pointed out to me. She said, "You know what you are? I'm just a loving, caring, kind, considerate person that like helping people. She said, you are a life coach. I'm like, her? And then when she said it and I realized it, the same way I sponsored men and women who got their lives back in order don't come to the 12-step spiritual program no more. Even some of them went into therapy to get the professional help. We can only guide you but so far. But normally when you have done the necessary work on yourself, as a person with the working knowledge of the 12 steps and traditions and 12 concepts, they are spiritual. And one is the basis of building up. So that's what we do with people. For a lot of y'all that stays here, I didn't understand the difference. I didn't like dealing with religion. It's okay to be in, to study and practice religious beliefs. Okay? But watch, most of your religious sectors, either you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. And be honest with you, that's a way of trying to control people. And I didn't understand all this at first. I didn't understand it. But God showed me organized religion and politics. It's the same. It's the same. The whole goal is to control your life. Tell you how to live, tell you how to function, tell you how to dress, tell you how to eat. Come on. Certain religious beliefs don't want you to eat while the sun is up. Stuff like that. Some people need that structure, that guidance in their life. They need something to help them feel special and important. That's your religious, if you are a religious person. I read and I study up about religion. But then through some years, God moved me. My relationship became more spiritual. And I just want to say this too. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, and I'm not talking about Yahweh, I'm not talking about Usa, I'm talking about Jesus Christ. If you don't believe in Jesus, it's okay. Because we only serve one God. I don't care what's his name. You know what I mean? But if you don't believe in Jesus, it's okay. I don't need you to tell me his name is Azus. I don't need you to tell me he's a prophet. He's known as by many names. We know that. But we know, and I'm just saying this from what I read and I studied in Bible. And I'm finding out. In Bible, it tells you the only way to get to the Father, through the Son. That's not true. I believe it, but that's not true with everybody. Now, the reason why I say I believe it, because I read the Bible, the Holy Bible. But I understand too, this is what they're saying there. But when I go and I talk with Jesus by way of the Holy Spirit, because I know what's in me, I know where I came from. And when I say the Father, the Creator, whatever you want to call him, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you call him. But you got to understand, that's that particular religion. That's the way you were taught. And I'm telling y'all, the same with me. But God started showing me something different by way of the Holy Spirit. That's why I ask people, I say, you know, what your well, let me just say the Muslims or the Israelites, stuff like that, right? I will ask them, have you learned to gain a personal relationship with the Spirit? Not just based on your religion. Understand, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. And I started understanding too, because we all are his children. And I didn't understand a lot of that at first until I read certain scriptures when God told Jeremiah, I knew you before the foundation of this world. Watch what I say. God told Jeremiah, God came to Jeremiah in a dream. This is what Jeremiah said. And said, God told Jeremiah, said, I knew you, Steve Copeland. Because by this time he was talking to me before the foundation of this world. I put everything in you that I called you to go out and do. Now, mind you, this is what he said to Jeremiah and me. So if you don't get that, it wasn't for you. When I stepped outside my marriage, God took me to King David. Now watch how I share my personal story. That's why a lot of y'all miss it. God took me. I'm sitting in the church, hurt because I felt like I failed God, right? God told me, and what he was saying to David, no matter how you stumble and fall, Steve Copeland, you're a man after my own heart. So if he didn't tell you that, when you tend to stumble and fall, no matter how you stumble and fall, Steve Copeland, I love you anyway. And you know what I got out of that? Keep moving forward. So for a lot of y'all that will turn around and judge people like Jamal Bryant, T.D. Jakes, I'm sorry. Whoever, stumble and fall. Let me say that right. Whoever stumbled and fall, God didn't know they was going to stumble and fall. Please. My life, I started realizing my life was predestined before I came here. Everything I do and don't do, God already know I was going to do it. That goes to show me when a lot of y'all make statements out your mouth, you don't have a connection with them. Now, I stepped off the deacon ministry. That's just the title. But I knew I couldn't stop ministering for Christ. Y'all miss it. Y'all are missing it. I stepped off of the title. But I knew I couldn't stop my calling. I know deep in my heart, I know deep in my spirit, I am a minister for Christ. I ain't trying to be perfect. I'm telling you right now, I'm not striving to be perfect. But I can tell you this, a lot of the stuff I used to do, I don't do no more. I can tell you this, I know the difference between right and wrong. I'd rather do the right things than to do the wrong. Now, when I look back at my personal experiences, from the past and stuff, and if I find myself in the here and now practicing a lot of that, I'm going against what God called me to do. Stop. Now listen to what I'm saying. When you know the truth of God's word, or when you know the truth between right and wrong, and you choose to practice it, you're disobeying God. Or you're being rebellious towards God, his truth, his word. Now, I'm talking about me because I'm looking at me. I'm talking about me. So if you above reproach, you in this world and you're not of the world, but you're involving yourself in some of the worldly stuff. Now, check it out. We don't go to clubs no more. We don't go to bars no more. We don't hang out, in other infested areas. You get me? That's turning your life around. You beginning to grow and mature in your life. You beginning to grow and mature. But sometimes we have to stumble and fall and learn from them to be a better person. So come for me. Come on. And bring scripture with you. Because what I just said, I can tell you about my experience with being like Jonah. Because a lot of times when God called us to do something or want us to go somewhere and minister and talk to people, mainly in the inner city communities, we don't want to go. So why did Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh? But see, you got to see your life story too. He didn't just tell them to do stuff. He's telling some of us to live a certain way to help embrace other people who's stuck in a certain area of their lives. So do you know why Christ came to this earth? Well, do you know why God became human and walked this earth? I didn't believe. I'm telling you. So if you're listening to me on Facebook, check this out. For a long time, I did not believe God manifested himself into a human form. He showed me that. And if you don't see that, that's because he didn't show it to you. That's all. How you going to sit back and you got millions of people are God chosen people, but when you tend to buck against all of that and deny it, you are not a chosen. And when I open up my big mouth, you might not like the way I come with it. But understand, Steve Copeland don't do the stuff he used to do. You heard Paul. Look at Paul. Before he was Saul. Look at him. He was Saul. He was a very destructive man. Look what he used to do. He was on the road of Damascus, to Damascus. I was on the road of destruction. He was on the road of Damascus. I was on the road of destruction. I was once blind, but now I see. He was once blind, but now he began to see. So the Bible is fake and phony, right? The Bible is fake and phony. I'm only telling you what I begin to see. Do not quote scripture to me. Know why? Because I lived a lot of it. I started living or seeing my life story. I'm like, oh my God. And see, a lot of you might not see that. I didn't see all of this right now I'm sharing with y'all in the beginning. So I'm reading Bible, I'm studying Bible, and the reason why I'm saying this, because be honest with you, I have great knowledge of Bible, and I thought that I was going to become a Muslim. I did, because I had great knowledge and understanding of the word. And as time began to go on, because I thought I was going to become a Muslim, it was like that change came when God showed me who he was actually as the Son. And I'm reading in John, right? This is a couple more years later, right? And I'm reading in John how the word became flesh and dwelt among his people. And something went off in my head and said, bing. I said, oh my God. The spoken word, which became which had become the written word, has become the living, breathing word. I was like, oh my God. That was my transformation towards the Son. So don't you never tell somebody, if you have not experienced that transformation, oh, the Trinity isn't real. It doesn't say Trinity. But it talks about the Father, the Son, and then when Jesus, after he was crucified, right, and he came back, he said, I'm going to leave one behind to protect y'all and serve y'all serve. Basically, he's talking about the comforter. I was like, oh my God. Now, mind you, in the process of me getting there, I was going, now I was, because I go through a lot now. It's the trials and the tribulations that I started experiencing in my life that God flipped around just to show me how he was teaching me. So for a lot of y'all, if you didn't go through that, stop knocking what you don't understand. Then again, keep on, that's your role. Now, guess what I just did? I just shared with you how God showed me the Father, which is the creator, the Son, how he became human, and the Holy Spirit, which he left behind, which teaches me everything I need to know. Now tell me I'm wrong because of your historical research that you've done, and I just shared something personal with you. My personal experience. Now come on, because I will eat your butt up. I will eat you up. And I guarantee you'll walk away. That's why I'm known as the big mouth, bald head black dude. That's why I'm a community activist. That's why I'm a human rights advocate. Because I see the evil that comes up against our people, and this big mouth is what I spit out. My mouth is my biggest weapon. Not my fist fighting all that. No. My mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. My mouth. So now, if you don't believe it or you don't see certain things for yourself, that's fine. Because I didn't. I did not understand a lot of the stuff that I see. Understand today. And my pastor always say this, right? Get to know God for yourself. I will never tell you you wrong for certain things or how God leads you or guides you. I won't do it. Now, when I first became, got into the church and everything, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you accept him as your Lord and your Savior? Stuff like that. But I started seeing God work with people. God worked with us in his own special way. Now I'm speaking English. I'm speaking English. I'm not a Muslim. I don't speak that language. I'm speaking English. So God only speaking English. And I'm going to tell you, I love when Carolyn Showell was at our church. She said, God can say no at one time in all different languages. I was like, oh my God. Because when you're set in your mind and you put them in this box, and a lot of us will do that, we put them in a box, not realizing you can't put God in a box. But when she said that, something went boom. And I had to stop. Because the way he deal with me is, his own special way of me deal, he deal with Steve Copeland. Now, I can sit here and talk with other, I'm going to say, Bible-believing people, or I can sit here and talk with spiritual balanced people, because we speak the same language. But now, if a Muslim start talking with other Muslim brothers, I'm lost. I'm like, what the? But now I don't mind, if you want to teach me some things, that's all I'm trying to say, of how y'all do things according to your beliefs and your religion, please teach me. Because I'm willing to see how God worked with you in that area. The same with the Chinese. I was shocked because we are a non-denomination church, so we have a mixture. And it was 3 like Chineses in our church. And they believe in Jesus Christ, no matter what their idol may be. But see, that's not all of them. And the reason why I'm sharing this, Because by me being in a non-denomination church, it's not based around the religion or the denomination. Jesus said, let there be no denominations against y'all, with y'all, because that what tends to separate us. It's in scripture. Where you at? If you ain't in Baltimore City, why? Oh, if you ain't in Baltimore City, I can't send money out. I can't send money out. My TikTok just froze. I was looking to see did I violate anything. Cause some stuff, some truths, they don't want you to let people know. Mainly when you talk about religion and politics. And if I tell you I'm a human rights advocate, I'm only speaking up or fighting for our rights. I am a voice. I didn't realize too that being a human rights advocate or being a community activist, we are lawyers basically. We're not certified or licensed, but because of our voices, we are considered as lawyers for the less fortunate. So what I do, I'll learn enough to fight whatever, like they might be, I'm getting ready to say discriminating against us for, right? Let me share this with y'all ladies too. We understand that they pass, and please, when I say stuff wrong, charge it to this. I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't hold water like now, and I just speak from where I'm at, right? But if I say things wrong, you can correct me by putting it. But I'm getting ready to say Roe versus Wade, and they turned that where women can't, do what they do. Now let me share this with y'all. Any bills they create or put into law, they can be amended. They can be ratified. It's just that you have to get with these human right programs or people, right? Yeah, it did. It did. It says some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. Thank you, TikTok. They didn't restrict me. It's just because I froze for a moment. I was wondering why. And thank you, because I have to say thank you over here because I do this. And sometimes when I go, it's not personal. I might be in the spirit and I'll start saying stuff from here and it's not to offend anybody, but thank you for sending that message back, TikTok, because, even if they do restrict me, and I'm gonna just share this with y'all, I will appeal it. And once they look at it and they see it wasn't an actual offense towards the community, they'll take it off. They approve it, right? So whatever I say, and I know they watching because they do this to me on Facebook too. Facebook just don't respond back like that. On Facebook, I had 30 restrictions one time. I'm like, I was looking down my thing. I'm like, what the freak? But what I started doing, I have to share with them that I am a community activist. I am a human rights advocate. So a lot of times when I talk, I'm not trying to promote violence or anything in that sense. I will stay away from people that I know that's rebels and things like that. If I find out you into all of that, where you try to recruit people, I back up off you. Because that's not the key. That's not the point. But now I'm gonna share something with y'all, and thank y'all for helping me kill a little time, right? Cause like I said, I'm home and I'm on home monitor because this their way of getting me off the street from interacting with our communities, the less fortunate people. My goal is to encourage and motivate our people to do the right things. So if you're not in the streets and you're not trying to build back up, and I'm not trying to be smart and I'm not trying to be personal, shut your freaking mouth when it comes to me. Because see, you people will sit back on it and they'll do this and they'll do that, but they're not doing nothing to help motivate your own people and encourage your people in doing the right things. But then when I step in and I might come on somebody live and I share my personal experience, y'all want to come for me. You don't want to do that because then I'll start getting loud, defending myself. Because if I'm sharing my truth with you, do not use my experience, my personal experience, and try to beat me down when you're not doing the things I do, like putting yourself on the front line, like a Martin Luther King, like a Malcolm X. But you can talk about it, but you're not doing it. And that's what I learned the difference. You're not for solutions. You're not for actions. You're good at steady running off at your mouth. But you'll talk about everybody else's stuff, but your own. And I listen to it a lot. That's why I don't care to come up on people's platforms. And I get invited a lot because of the way I carry it. And when I say this, I'm speaking because I'm looking at our people in general and the stuff and the suffering that they're going through. So you don't have to like me because you don't have to deal with me. The same way I don't have to deal with you. Now, if one person want to talk to me, talk to me. But if I'm on a platform and four of y'all coming for me, so the moment I go to say something, let me talk. And then I'll shut up. Then the next one want to come in. Then the next one want to come in. Do you realize what y'all doing? Y'all are verbally, emotionally, mentally abusive with your mouth. With your mouth. That's what you're doing to that next person. And then when you have a man like me, right? Number one, my mother taught me that men take care of their responsibilities. She taught me how to cook, clean, sew, all that stuff. During the holidays, I'm normally the one that's cooking the dinners for the family. Because that's the way I was raised. Now I'm 62 years old. I don't even get a phone call. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Well, then I might get something, I don't know. But I've learned to accept it is what it is. So I'm understanding too. For a lot of y'all that's still, associating with your family like that, I'm understanding why a lot of them outcast the elderly or the seniors now. Your own family will make you out to be a freaking monster. And I'm like, what? Y'all know me better than that. Living good lives. They living very good lives. They living their own lives. But they forgot you over here. And I guarantee you, guess what? A lot of y'all are not calling y'all elderly. The ones that raised y'all. Because now you're bougie. And that ain't the case with a lot of minds, because no matter what's going on with me, when they want something, they know how to call. When they want something, guess who's going to start letting them know? No. Because they know no matter what. And it's a shame when somebody in the family pass away or become unalive, and then we can show up and act. That's the only time a lot of families show up. And we together. And guess what? I'm experiencing a lot of this now for myself. And I can't be mad because you raised them to the point where they're responsible. But because I started doing this, and my family, I can tell you my family, they're not used to seeing Uncle Steve or Daddy out there on the front line like this. They not. They not used to why he let people come and stay in his house and this and that. He don't even know them. But this is how my mother did with the community. She passed away when I was 26. So a lot of the ones that came afterwards, like my children, like my nieces and my nephews that I raised, they didn't understand that, even though you heard what I said, I raised them. But that's what family feel as though you're supposed to do. But when you extend that love to outsiders that they're not used to, something ain't right here. And mind y'all, I'm understanding that. My son or my daughter might be watching me now because they know their father will come on and talk like this. Anybody that knows me, look, they be like, oh, we're going to stay away from him. Because I call it keeping it real. That's the name of my topic, basically, on my talk show. I didn't say keep it alive. It's keeping it real with Steve Copeland. Now, if y'all want to go on other people's platforms and listen to the bull crap, do what you do. But if you ask me or invite me over there, and it's not normally the host, it's normally who's on the panel. Because I'm starting to see how people, and if that's what turns me off, when you can tell everybody else's life story, but you won't tell your own. And then when I come in and I share my experience, my strengths, and my hopes, you get offended. And 9 times out of 10, if you get offended what I say out my mouth, then it's something going on inside of you. Like I said, I sponsored a lot of men and women. So I'm not the one you want to play with. Please don't do it. You don't get to be 62 by being dumb. Come on. Better listen. I'm talking about with this. Because I know you hear every word I'm saying out my mouth. I wish I can go up there. I wish I can go up there and say this and say that. You ain't got to come. I mean, if you want to come up here, come up here. I respect it. I respect that. I respect it. But now, don't take it wrong. And I had to understand this. If you don't feed me your personal experience, to me, that shit don't matter. But what I had to understand, to be truthful with y'all, rather you sharing your experience, rather you sharing your opinion, rather you sharing your ideas, rather you sharing, all that type of stuff, that's just where you at. So for me, I had to start respecting that. I'd rather for you to share like your experience because you will have a point of recovery there or intervention towards certain things that's happening. And if you share, like, I used to be here, I used to be there, then this is what I did to become a better person, or I started this program to help people out in our community, stuff like that. Now, let me show y'all where I'm at with that. I'm going to show y'all where I'm at, right? Because I am a community activist, because I am a community organizer. Watch what I get ready to do. You see this list right here? See this list? This is a list of BLK or Black owned nonprofits and businesses in the community. I would take this when I would go down to City Hall or Annapolis or in front of Congress. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it when you can mention names, when you can tell them what we can do to slow certain things down or put certain things to a stop. They don't like it. It's like, man, we ain't asked you all that. So let me show you. If I mention Van Brooks, he's in Baltimore City. If I mention Damon Cooper, he's in Baltimore City. If I mention Joe Gamble, he in Baltimore City. If I mention Mayo, he's in Baltimore City. If I mention Umar, Manure, Lisa Cooper, and guess what? Van Brooks mentoring young, he mentoring young men. He has a program, a building. Damon Cooper, phenomenal, a life coach. He has his own business. It used to be a nonprofit. He turned it into an LLC now because he's getting the funding and the money to actually do what he do towards our melanated men. Joe Gamble used to be he's an ex-football player. He works at the YMCA on Drew Hill in Baltimore City. I don't hear none of our politicians mentioning people names like this. But because I talk about this, I'm a big mouth. I'm bad news. Right? Mayo, mentoring, Be More City. And when I say that, some of them mentor young, women and, young females and young, boys too. Umar, he's a boxer. He's an ex-boxer. So he has a boxing program. But then they do a lot in the program. He feed the community. They don't even give him government funding. Lisa Cooper. Lisa. Moloch. Lisa Cooper. Workforce development. Now mind you, these people numbers and information I have. Lisa. Cherie Rogers, mentoring, standing strong. Kim Trueheart, Recreation Center. She works with boys and girls. Squeaky just had an amazing event giving out toys. 500 bikes. This guy do not get government funding. But guess what? Governor Hogan and the people that Governor Hogan's know donates to his program. Now, my goal is to get with Westmore, right? I'm saying Westmore down there. I'm like, no, I need you over here. You give some of that money. But look, I'm looking at Squeaky, right? Then my name right here, Stephen Copeland Jr., mine senior, because my goal is to open up multi-purpose center for inner city youth where we could do music, singing, dancing, sports as well. But most of your programs, like I'm gonna say the School of Arts, they charge you to come in. The same type of teaching or program they have in there is what I want to do in the multi-purpose center. So a lot of y'all want to talk about me, but this is the work that I've been doing, that God had me, set me up for to start doing. Now, I want my own building for the recreation center. I was told by some people not to reinvent the wheel. Take your program into some of these recreation centers that don't have the type of stuff that you talking about. So, I had to start thinking another way too. Why reinvent the wheel? The building's already there. Just take the programs in. So when I share stuff like this, y'all help me see stuff in another way. Because I might be right here, block-headed. You know what I mean? And y'all might come and share something that's more advanced and help me understand. Get out of that box, Steve. That's why I share the way I do, because somebody else might have, they doing it. So they already stabled and they thought the same way I'm thinking now. And they had to open up. So that's why I don't mind listening to people and encouraging me and motivate me and tell me how to, long as your heart, long as I know you where I'm at or where I'm trying to go to that next level. Uncle T, he has a youth program. He's over East and he works with a lot of our young men. And he might work with the females too. But the reason why I said young men, because it's a lot of men that do stuff for the boys. And y'all know when we implement, I'm sorry, females, it can be an issue for some of us. So y'all know that's why a lot of men work more with the boys than they might do the females. Now, in my case, because I'm trying to be open, my goal is to stand back and have women work with women. I just set up the programs. You get me? Because it's business for me. So I won't be so on hand like I used to be, because I don't never want to get accused of, oh, he touched me, or he did this, he did that. No, my goal is to help you, not hurt you. But still, they wait for stuff like that. Then we got Rock. Rock is one of the guys that, when y'all look at Be More Real Teen Talk Show, right? Y'all see that group of younger people, and some of them was 8 and 9, but the knowledge that they have and stuff like that, they came on the talk show. And their parents are invited to come out too, because now I'm not going to ask a child something deep. That child might be in therapy. I'm gonna just use that as an example. But the goal is to help them talk about things as much as they can comfortably. But then is to have somebody there who probably experienced whatever we might talk about that day, to share with the youth how they was able to overcome certain things in life. Because we can always address the problem. We can address the problem. We know what the crisis is. It's just finding a solution of helping people to cope and deal with certain things in life, in the present, in a more peaceful manner, in a more structured manner, right? Than destructive. So Sean, he works at the mayor office. Oh, Sean on LinkedIn too. And he works with boys and girls. They go around. He works at the mayor office for uh he say, like, you're a woman and you want to start a business. Sean mainly helps the women with their LLCs or business, where I'm trying to get a lot of businesses to help the minority men, even our ex-offenders and stuff like that. So even though you might be an ex-offender, a criminal period, certain companies, a lot of people don't realize this, do have to hire you if you get government bonded, federally bonded, mainly if you have a felony, because they get paid on top of that for bringing you aboard. Did y'all know that? And see, the only reason why I could say that, because I am in the community to help resolve some of the issues that we're having, mainly with our melanated men and young men. I don't want to see them spend the rest of their life in prison. I'm not sure. Look, I was only over there like 11 months. And that thing messed my mind up, because that's not me. Then we got We Ours Us. We got Jeanette Graham. Jeanette Graham's worked with returning citizens. See what I'm gonna tell you why I paused a little bit. She worked with returning citizens, and everybody she worked with, they not old. She worked with the youth as well, and the whole thing is helping to turn their lives around. She goes out to Jessup and everything, working with the prisoners that's on their way of coming out, because some of them might not have a place to go to. Then if they do have a place to go to, but it might be a bad, might be an unhealthy place to go, the whole goal is you have to change that environment. I don't come on here for nothing, y'all. I don't come on here for nothing. And I am a wealth of information. Anybody that I deal with will tell you that. Steve is a connector. Even though y'all might not like the way Steve Copeland comes. I can't change me for y'all, and I refuse to. I want to be more professional, though. Like, come on. I will be up here being fake and phony to win y'all approval. I ain't, please. Then you got Michael, who works with the youth. And once again, I put my own thing on here, B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show. Then we got Carolyn White, who works with the youth. We got Shelly Stefani, who does the father. He's a father, and he worked with men. He worked with the men and trying to get more fathers involved in their children's lives. And I love what he do up Park Heights. I mean, up Emerson. I love what he do. Then you got Roland, DJ Steve, Roland Hall, girls basketball, Dr. Andre Humphrey, Baltimore Trauma Response Team. It goes on. Pastor Shannon, Dr. Hathaway, Bishop John Carrington, Bishop Jerome Stokes, Giovanni Patterson, Christopher Anderson, Dan Cox, and the Innocent Project. It just goes on, right? Now, check this out. Giovanni Patterson is a Republican, and I met him, and he came up against the school system for not educating and properly teaching our kids. So they filed a lawsuit against the school. And Ben Crump came out and spoke about it as well. Christopher Anderson, he's a Republican, and he's a church-going man. Now, he's a Trump man. I don't care for Trump like that. But he's a Trump man. But he believes in Trump in his own special way. I just don't. Because we both older, but I'm just looking at it from another level that I don't want to get too deep into it. But not because of the presidency of anything like that. It's because of some of his personal past stuff that I know, that I grew up with, that I don't care for the man about that. But you cannot, as far as how he's a maniac, how he is a manipulating con artist, and y'all see the best in him. But see, only because of some of the stuff I seen coming up, that's why I don't care for that type of behavior. Y'all might find it cute. I don't. Then we got Dan Cox. He is a Republican too. But Dan Cox is a people person. So a lot of his constituents, they come up against you when you fighting, when you are more for the people than for certain laws that's being created that you know might can harm the people. That's why I admire Dan Cox, because he's more of a people person. And I think he is, I want to make sure, I think he's a senator or something like that. Then you got the Innocent Project. It's just so much, y'all. Now, I'm just sharing this, right? Because anytime you do what I do, you have to at least get an understanding of where things are at and where it's coming from. Now, being a member of Communities United, this is what we do. If you create a bill that can benefit the people, we will encourage and motivate the people to support your bill. If you create a bill, and when I say create, I mean support your bill, that's to get it into law, because basically it's the people that has to vote on those bills. Now, as a human rights advocate, No, let me finish this. So for some of y'all, when I made that statement, I do not vote anymore. I'm saying me. I will not encourage you not to vote, because whoever you vote for, we are the ones that have to support whatever they get into law. So I might not like your bill, or I might like your bill, because it was bills that I encouraged and I motivated because of the people I worked with and supported it. And sometimes we will stand up with the organizations that we with, even though we don't support the bills. And this is what I was trying to explain to these people the other day. Because it's like, you got to pick a side. You know what I mean? You got to pick a side. So I'd rather be here. And I get y'all, but you got to pick a side. They was mad because I didn't vote for hers. But if hers had got in, whatever laws, what I was trying to tell them, that Congress creates, it wasn't about hers, or it wasn't about Trump. It was about Congress, and it kept flying right over y'all heads. Y'all sitting up there listening to everything this man say about the policies. He don't write policies. They don't do that. They don't write the policies. They either sign them into law or veto them. And guess what? If Congress want to override that, they can. So know where your power come from. Know where your power come from. And my thing is, somebody come up on your live TikTok, and no matter who they voted for or whether they vote or not, they have that right to vote now. And they have the right, if they don't want to vote, they don't have to vote. So you respect that either way. That's all I'm saying. Don't put your mouth on somebody because she didn't get in, because be honest with you, I thought she was. But see, because if she had got in from where I'm at, she would have just been in basically as overseer, not the ones that actually really had to abide by the laws that they create. She didn't create them, or Trump didn't create them. That's y'all bullshit. And I'm going to say it again. That's y'all bullshit. Learn your shit before you run off at your mouth. And then on top of that, please help me. Because I thought about this. Deporting the immigrants. Who normally that works a job get paid the cheapest? Because of the work they do. So you get rid of them like that, right? Look what's going on in the inner city. Y'all ain't thinking. So the more melanated men or people, melanated men, go to the prison. That's cheaper labor. $3 a day when they come out to go and work in these corporations, warehouses and stuff like that. Y'all don't know they do that? So listen to somebody that was over there to see some of the stuff itself. And I didn't take it really into account because I was at this place delivering stuff, and they had a van full of prisoners that would come in to work in there alongside the regular employees. So you don't pay them as much, but you pay whatever program brought them in. They only get like $3 a day for being out. And they come out because if they got time to serve in there, and you know when you start working and doing other things, it cuts back on certain things in the prison. Hey baby, and hey cuz, and it cuts back. See, a lot of y'all don't know this, but because I'm in there, I see it. And that's why I can better explain it. But you get people that wants to come back with their opinion, which is fine. If you want to ask a question, ask a question. I can tell you. I can tell you. And I'll tell you this too. The reason why they shut my ass down, and it didn't just come from the police department, it came up from a little bit higher. Because I didn't tell y'all when I called them one time, and the guy that came out and talked to me, I know he was looking at the videos, so he was more higher up. He came right to me. Hey, how you doing? He greeted me like he been knowing me. I said, oh my God, that's because he was looking at the videos of me and the police. And then part of the SWAT team came out with. And we started, me, him, and them, we started talking and laughing. I'm talking about everything I do around here. They was like, damn, you do a lot. I said, I know. I'm talking to the police. I get a phone call a week before, cuz, that they shutting a lot of community activists down. And I said, oh my God, I forgot, because I haven't been seeing or hearing from a lot of people that's in the community. So a week later, my ass was gone. I was like, Brandon Scott, them ain't gonna let nothing happen to me, because blah, 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 blah. And a week later, I was gone. I'm like, what the fuck? They kidnapped my ass, and that's how I felt. Once they locked me up, it was like nobody was coming to me. Nobody was talking to me. I didn't know nothing. It was the inmates that helped me understand what was going on. They helped me understand being over here at the MTC on that pretrial thing. Wasn't nobody coming to me. I ain't know nothing about a counselor. I ain't know nothing about nothing. They had to sit Unc down and talk with Unc so Unc can better understand what was going on. Now, I'm arguing with the correctional officers because, number one, I got a big mouth, and y'all job is to help the people, not hurt the people. And I started saying it. So I was running off at my mouth, and they asked me to shut up. I'm talking about the correctional officers. I'm listening to guys tell some of the correction officers, right? Yeah, I remember when you was like when they first got into it, they might have been 21, 20 something like that, right? And then they like 40. Yeah, I remember when you first started, you was a little girl. And it's like 15 years later, and I'm like, you've been coming in and out of here like that? A lot of people, homeless men, probably women too, I'm not sure, but homeless men will commit a crime that will get them off the streets during the wintertime. 3 meals and a cot. And then when it started getting warm, they back on the streets again. I didn't know that till the prisoners started telling me stuff like that. See, if you don't understand certain things, listen. Because I didn't. Some people committed serious stuff, right? And I found out this too. Most of our men and women, they might have some mental illnesses, right? Bipolar, schizophrenic, stuff like that. So they practicing certain behaviors. When they was on medication, they stopped taking their medication. So that's why their behavior became so destructive. So now they're over the prison. And I'm realizing this because I work with people that deals with mental illnesses. So they're over the prison and they're not being medicated to help them think better and act better. So they over the prison acting out. And I'm like, oh my God, these people act worse than the ones I, work with because they're not taking their meds. And the ones that I did talk to, I would tell them to please get back on your meds. Take your meds. Because I know how their brain be rushing. Now, it's somebody that my brother grew up with that I was talking to over there. So I remember him as a kid coming up. Him and this guy got into it. Some kind of way, the guy gets shot. I think in the neck. It's just him and the guy arguing. The guy gets shot in the neck. I said, who shot him? Oh, no. It was just you and him. Yep. Who shot him? Oh, no. So he runs off. The police has come for him. He goes in his house and hides. So now here comes the squad. Rather than him giving himself up, they threw that splash, that bomb thing in there. He jumps out the window. But he told me he was going to take his bike in the house. Listen to what I'm saying now. I'm telling you, D, he did it, but he wouldn't admit to doing it. Then on top of that, which he didn't, I ain't saying he had to admit it to them, right? But on top of that, you taking a bike in the house, but you ran from the police. You took the bike in the house, right? But then you didn't come back out. So I'm only saying this, y'all, because I was hearing some hell of a stories. But guess what? Most of the guys that I was hearing it from, because when they, dealing with life on life terms, right? Some of them was put on meds because of certain destructive behaviors because of this. It's only to calm this down a lot, right? And it'll get to the point once you feeling better, it's like, I don't need it no more, stuff like that, right? And when they come off of it and their brain is racing again, they're not thinking logically. And that's why some of the guys I would talk to, I would encourage them as much as I could, to get back on your meds, to help calm you down and stuff like that, where you can think a lot more clear and stuff of that manners. The corrections officers started telling me, shut up. Stop motivating them. Stop encouraging them. Because you got to understand this, they have a job to do. They have to wait for you to go home and screw up and come back. Go home, screw up and come back. Because that keeps them working too. You get what I'm saying? It keeps them working. It keeps them having a job. And you have some that will motivate and encourage them themselves too, because they understand how the system actually works. But this is their job. So until a lot of y'all, when you see Steve Copeland come, I can only share with you from what I see or what I'm experiencing. You know what I mean? If you have not, if you want to ask a question, okay. But don't come and attack me if I tell you I'm a human rights advocate. You don't put your fucking life on the line like I do. You are not on the streets like me. That's why they took me off the street. And I didn't realize it till a guy told me, a younger guy. He said, Mr. Copeland, he said, because he got mad, right? Because I was mad of what happened to me. He said, do you realize that was God's way of saving your life? I couldn't see it. He said, do you realize by you being in here, that was God's way of saving your life? And it's not to be smart to none of y'all. Because of what I do and because of how I run off at my mouth, sometimes you don't realize you put yourself out like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm sitting up here fighting for our rights. I'm building back up in the community from where I come from. What I used to do was destroying the community. And a lot of y'all that don't understand it will judge somebody like this. So when I look at Martin Luther King, right? And when I'm not deep into Malcolm X like some Muslim might be, right? So I can only talk on the part of, the civil rights movement and stuff like that. But now, before I came on, and I'm gonna get ready to get off because I gotta go put this thing on the charger. I wanted to know who was the first black human being, or BLK, right, that ever voted. Because it always starts off somewhere. That ever voted. Thank you, Charlie. I want to know who was the first, right? Thank God for Google. Thomas Mundy Peterson. Monday. Well, let me say Thomas Peterson was the first African. Now, when I read this word right here, I do not like to use this word, African American. But I'm trying to see, did he come from Africa, right? Right. Thomas said, Charlie said, we are the first voters. We are the first Republicans. Charlie said that. Now, Charlie, he voted. Somebody told him to go vote because of the stuff that he was doing, and melanated people could vote, right? He went and he voted. He went because of some of the stuff he was doing in the community and stuff like that. He went and he voted. Now, Charlie, you're a little bit deeper because you put it right there. And he voted Republican. This was in 1870. Right? So now, he was the first melanated. And it was another guy in there that was YT. He tore his stuff up because he got mad. Now, I'm reading this, Charlie, today. Now, I made a statement the other day about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And they passed the voters, the melanated people, right to vote without being discriminated against. So they basically made it a law. That's what the girl was sending me. But I had to go back to historic times. So you're right, Charlie. He voted basically because it was Republican, Democrat. Then it spread it out. I mean, it separated itself. I read up on it. I'm just not real good with keeping up mentally. Like some of y'all have great knowledge, Charlie. Great knowledge. And like when you do your research, I just try to get up. I just try to get enough, Charlie, where I can make my point from where I'm at here. So I don't know. I just got up and I'm like, I'm gonna go down here and get on for a while because I don't like to I like to feed people stuff, And you're right, Charlie. So I will search certain things. Like I looked up the word civil liberties again, right? Not realizing, Steve, you got all that upstairs. Because when they locked me up, I had to look at where my rights was violated. Freedom of speech. I had to look at where my rights was violated, right? And I'm like, you wrote all this stuff down. It's just I need to bring my paperwork down, right? So a lot of us, we have talking points from what we see, but it's a difference when you begin to experience it for yourself. Now, I did not, and I'm telling y'all now, I used to hear people talking about being oppressed, and blah, 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 blah. I did not understand what that meant until that police did what he did to me. And that's because he had more power and authority and being an officer, of the law. But what he did, he used it to oppress me. And I'm reading up on this and I'm like, oh my God. So now I'm beginning to see how the police officers can use their authority to screw you. And that's what he did. And that's what that detective did. She got mad at me. Right. They are policy enforcers. They are. That's the whole goal, Charlie, of me encouraging the people to do the right things and not break it. But now, this dude knew that this was my housing program. He knew that they are my clients. His commander knew. The Eastern District Police Department, they all knew what I was doing. But what he did, he found a way, because I screamed on him a few times. He found a way to screw me. I reported him to his sergeant because he gave a client of mine that I was trying to get them to take him to get some help. I know. And see, Charlie, and I'm gonna read to them, right? The ones over here. The the police is the one. Wait a minute, Charlie, you got me laughing there. Because look, that's what we was arguing about, Charlie. I was telling them, right, we should not be arguing. Because I know they know the policies, the laws and everything. And I say, y'all get paid. Charlie, I'm telling them, y'all get paid to protect and serve and to instill the laws. Y'all get paid to try to encourage and motivate people not to as well. But I don't get paid for what I come in the inner city to do. And that was our biggest argument, Charlie. Now, let me share this with you, Charlie. When that police officer didn't have his camera on, you see how me and you talking? Me and him would talk. But once his camera came on, he became a total different person. And you know why he told me that? He said because they have to perform a certain way in front of that camera or they would lose their jobs. Then I found out, Charlie, too. Okay, you got it. Because I couldn't believe it. And he told me this too. This is what he said, but that's not true, Charlie. He said that they cannot, this is the way they've been taught. If they didn't see the crime for their own two eyes, with their own two eyes, it's nothing they can do. I'm like, huh? That's what he said. One of my clients threatened me in front of the police. One thing, you don't smoke weed in my program. You don't drink in my program. I will put you somewhere to get you help. He threatened me in front of the two police, and they turned around and walked away. Then he said this. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And he said it twice. And they went and jumped in their cars. So I said this, Charlie, in order for y'all to do something, he has to actually take me down in front of y'all. Or say like if he did it and y'all wasn't there. But see, that's only talk. If he had did it and y'all wasn't there, y'all would have locked him up. But y'all telling me we can't do nothing unless we see it for ourselves. Now let me flip that a little bit, Charlie. This one client that they tried to say, because I had 3 of them that I was having problems with. But this one that they tried to say, which is my nephew, that I was supposed, he's like a nephew to me, that I was supposed to harm, punch me in my nose. I called them to see that this police, did they find the emergency petition to take him to get help at Johns Hopkins to get, monitored with this and on medication. After they came, well, anyway, the young man hit me in my nose when they left. So I went up to the corner. He was sitting there. I said, man, look what this mother blucker did to me. Now I'm bleeding. And he's looking, first he looked this way. He wasn't trying to look at me because I'm the troublemaker. Then he turned the car around, go in, talk with the guy, come back out. He said, I got something, I got some good news, I got some bad news. I said, man, cut that bull junk out. Now he see me bleeding. He said, because I didn't see it with my own 2 eyes, it's nothing I could do. And I pulled off. But before I pulled off, he had called the ambulance to make sure my nose wasn't broke. This is not in the police report that he wrote. This is not in the police report, the fake police report he wrote on me. Now, this was like about 12:45 in the morning on the 12th of March. On the 11th of March, I had went and filed charges on the young man for pushing me on the 10th. I didn't want to get him locked up. Oh, my God. Oh, come on. Y'all need to cut this out. Because sometimes when you talk and you don't know exactly what you're saying, that might get you restricted. But anyway, TikTok, y'all horrible. But anyway, now I gotta remember what I said. But anyway, maybe that's y'all way of saying you telling too much. I just thought about that. Maybe that's TikTok way of saying you telling too much, Mr. Copeland. Shut up. That's why they put your home on it. Well, anyway, let me watch it. Let me watch what I just said so I won't repeat it again. But TikTok, y'all don't realize, I'm just saying this because I know somebody is over there listening to what I'm saying anytime you restricting me. So you hearing what I'm saying. You monitor me. And that's what they do on Facebook too. That's why a lot of people got to the point they don't like dealing with me because I share the truth. But I ain't gonna worry about it too much because I'm gonna go over there and be like, look at it again. Because that's the same things I had to tell Facebook. I am a community activist. I am a human rights advocate. I speak up for the rights of the people that's being mistreated. And I know y'all hear me saying it because you restricting certain things I say, which I might not realize the way I'm putting stuff over here. That's why I use my own goddamn broadcast network. So if I was to turn around and put TikTok, embed TikTok into my regular platform, you're going to restrict it every time. So to me, be honest with you, that's not a good thing for me. Even if they're doing it on Instagram. Now, why all of a sudden, right, I can get reception here. But when it comes to Instagram, now y'all, on certain days, y'all I can come through and I can't. So be honest with you, What y'all are doing too, TikTok. You're violating my freedom to speak. And my thing is to respect where y'all are at, because y'all are saying some things can affect the community, which I understand. But when you telling the truth on how certain things work, it shouldn't be a restriction or a violation. It should be people be aware, or for educational purposes. See, this is the stuff that pisses me off as a human rights advocate. Because now y'all making me feel like y'all are no different than what these freaking police did to me. And I don't care if you do ban this here, because this is not the only platform I come on. Come on. This bull junk pisses me off. Because when I say certain things out my mouth, I'm just talking. And I hate to feel like I'm being followed around like that. I don't like it. Just like I just did this monitor, right? That's on my leg. I charged it up till 1 o'clock. It should not be going off now for me to put it back on the charger. It should not. So it's making me think that somebody is listening to me, because now it then went off for me to put on the charger. So basically that means whatever you're saying and whatever you're doing, shut it down. I'm not dumb by far. You might have your community guidelines, right? But when I open up my mouth, it's not to bash nobody. I'm talking about the people that basically I support and I try to work with, and in motivating, encouraging us. But you can let these freaks get through with their porn pictures and everything. Why don't you restrict them from inviting me to their naked pages? I don't see y'all doing that. And what I do, I delete them. I block them and I delete them, TikTok, because I'm not on here for no dating and all that type of stuff. Now restrict that right there. That might be the coffee. It's not me, y'all. Because I just drunk some coffee with caffeine. I'm just playing TikTok. And I'm serious. That's why don't look. I've been praying, right? Before I come back on again. TikTok, I'm saying this since y'all listening. I've been praying to God not to be so straightforward and direct, right? Because I know I can be a blip with this. I know. And it's not personal. It's just that I love what I do. It's like that fire, that passion. And once I go there, and sometimes I just I go like this. And I tell people, right, never take me personal, TikTok, because I'll start off low. And then for me, I'm the type of person, I don't need a mic. I don't need a bullhorn, because I'll start off low. And then as I begin to talk and the spirit takes over, I get loud. So it's not personal. It's never personal, TikTok. That's just me. And I'll find myself just in the conversation. If it's a real interesting conversation, I'll go up. And then I'll be like, bring it down, Steve, bring it down, because I get hyped. Mainly if it's lined with what I like to talk about. You know what I mean? So I have to, and I'm getting to a point, to be honest with you, TikTok, I'm tired of telling people, don't take me personal. or, you know, the way I deliver certain things. I don't want you to make it seem so personal or something wrong with this dude. Ain't nothing wrong with this dude. I can sit here and tell you, I tell you, this is like ministry for me. I was called, Charlie, to go back in the streets and TikTok. I was called. I'm sitting in my church. Now, mind you, I got time anyway, and I think because I said something, I don't know. See, I can't remember what I said. So unless you tell me what I said, then that will help me not to keep repeating the same mistakes. So when I get off here and I go look at it, tell me what I did or said. Because sometimes when I'm in a conversation, I just go. But if it's okay, because I'm the one that paid for this. But now to go back to Charlie, what you were saying. On February the 26th of 1869, Congress passed the 15th Amendment. Now, this was for the human being right to vote. Excuse me. It wasn't until the 1960s that melanated men and women had the clear right to vote. In 1965, the Voting Rights Act, which banned social discrimination in the voting process. So that's why Martin Luther King and them was fighting for the right for us to vote without being discriminated against. Now, the reason why I'm saying this, because sometimes we might not understand the difference and why they do what they do. But guess what? If you look at the constitutional rights, the reason why they start amending some of the bills, and what I like to say with that too, I like to look at it as the laws, right? How they was written in stone. Whatever laws they created was written in stone. That's just like the commandments. They was written in stone. But see, now, generations or later down the line, they're written in stone, but they start amending certain bills. Even though they are written in stone, they was able to come in and amend, not to push that straight out the way, but to switch it around. You on? All right. I'm gonna get ready to break down. And that's why we can ratify certain bills. So I want our women. Oh, I'm just saying that. I want our women to understand. All right, good. I want our women to understand, even though they passed that bill, and I'm gonna say Roe versus Wade, right? It's organizations that will they fighting against it anyway. But the point is, with it, we have to get somebody to write information where they can eradicate it or ratify it, where y'all still can do what you need to do. So anytime they write a bill into law, that's why you have organizations like I deal with, where we will fight against it. We fighting against it not to come into law anyway. But then you got to understand it's other people that don't want certain things to happen. What's up, cuz? Don't do that. You scared me. What happened? What happened, baby girl?
Cousin, I don't like Christmas. I hate Christmas, cousin.
Oh, you know what? I was sitting here today and I just started thinking about a lot of things, and nobody, I know Christmas haven't, came yet, but nobody called me. Nobody, Thanksgiving, nobody called me. And this is normally a rough time too.
Yeah, it's
And
a rough time for us around this time.
yeah, and I try my best now that I'm a little bit older, not to allow it to bring me down too much. Cause this is normally rough. And my mother passed away. Now, November the 25th, we
Yeah,
always celebrated her birthday,
yeah,
Thanksgiving. Do
yeah.
you know I thought Monday the 25th was Thanksgiving? And this young lady told me, she said Thanksgiving ain't till Thursday. And my head was messed up. And I was picking with her the other day because I'm thinking Monday, Monday was Thanksgiving. And look, I'm trying not to, feel bad about anything, right? Ugh.
Granddaddy, you know him as Uncle Johnny.
Mhm.
Granddaddy passed around this time. It's always hard.
Yeah.
It's always hard. And, you know, my granny, Bertha Copeland, passed. Well, her birthday was on the 10th, cousin. The 10th of November. It's just hard. It's just hard.
And,
I
and
miss,
I
I
forgot
miss
all about my aunt's
my
birthday.
granddaddy, man. I miss my granddaddy. I miss my granny. It's just hard. It's so hard, cousin.
And know what? I feel you, and I'm trying to do everything I can not to, go so far down because this is rough. And then
It's
the situation I'm in.
granddaddy, honestly, cousin, granddaddy passed in November.
Uh
That's his granddaddy Johnny, that is. But a lot of them passed. When did Uncle Henry pass in the winter?
you know what? I
All
forgot
of
when he
them passed
passed.
around the same time.
I forgot because during that time I think I was still caught up. And
Yeah.
so I want to show you something, right?
Cousin, I think all of them passed around this time. Like Aunt Mag passed around this time.
Mm-hmm.
My granddaddy, Uncle Harry, I think Uncle Ed. Everybody kind of passed around this time. So I hate this time of the season, man.
I want to show you something, and I hope it don't. You know, is this your grandfather in the middle? That's Johnny,
I
right?
remember that I was there. No, that's not granddaddy, but that's Uncle. Okay, that's Uncle Ed on the left,
Right.
and that's Uncle. No, that's Uncle Ed on the right. No, no, that's Uncle Ed on the left, and that's Uncle Harry. Wait a minute, I can't.
Who's that in the middle?
Who is that in the middle? I don't know
I
who
thought
that
that
is.
was
That's
Uncle
not my
Johnny.
granddaddy though.
I thought that
Cause
was Uncle
granddaddy
Johnny.
look like Uncle Ed.
Wait a minute.
Can you see me that?
Yeah, I thought that was Uncle Johnny.
Uh that's not Uncle. No, that's not him.
Okay.
Wait, it might have been. Wait a minute, let me see. Cause
Yeah, I thought that was Uncle Johnny.
was he?
Yeah, I thought that. Wait a minute. Let me. I'm trying to turn it around to you.
Wait a minute, let me take a screenshot. I will show my Baba. I don't think that was him. Cause he wasn't that tall. That's why I keep saying
Well,
it.
Uncle Henry was. I'm 6'1", so
Uncle Henry was short though.
Right. I know. I know. That's why I'm saying I'm 6'1". So
Uncle Ed and Uncle Henry was short.
my
Granddaddy was
grandfather,
taller than them though.
my grandfather was tall. White was
Who was your
tall.
grandfather? Uncle White?
Yeah, Charles White Copeland.
Charles White.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he, if I'm not mistaken, he was their older brother. Now,
Yeah.
I know Uncle Edward.
They call my granddaddy baby.
Uh huh.
but he was older than him.
Was older than
He was older than Uncle Ed, older than Uncle Henry, and he was older than Aunt Mag. But they called him Baby.
Look, you might get mad about this one too. Let me know if you have this or not.
Oh my God! Where did you find that, Steven?
Kelly sent me this stuff.
Who?
Kelly.
Kelly sent you that?
Yeah.
So that's all the kids.
Right. And you got it. Cause you know, that's all of them, and that's L Perry that she holding.
L Perry. So where Aunt Mag at? Because
I
Aunt Mag was L Perry's daughter. You remember Aunt Mag, Steven?
wait a minute.
Aunt Mag was tall, slender. She had a son named Charles.
It's
He had a son named Charles Copeland too.
okay. See, wait a minute.
He used to be a golf caddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
So
this
Charles
was
White is your granddaddy, right?
yeah. Charles White is my grandfather.
Right.
Now he's supposed to, I think he's somewhere on here.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now this might not be on Al Perry. It might be somebody else. Now who was the oldest between Al Perry? Because you mentioned Meg.
Aunt Mag was L Perry's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So you, how tall are you?
I'm 6'1".
Now my son is projected to be 6'2".
Ooh.
So he's pulling from the Copeland side. He's pulling from the Copeland side of the family.
Now my brother started this Copeland.
That's on Facebook, cousin.
Yeah. But haven't nobody been like into it? And I was trying to revise it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna join. It's on Facebook, right?
Right. Now you get into it. You cause see, you know a lot more about outside than I do. You and Kelly mainly. Because it's like
because you know too. But
I know
it for me.
I know, but I know like from Uncle Henry and you know Edward, and I knew Uncle Johnny.
Yeah.
Now that's why I said is that your grandfather, but now mind you, see I gotta watch my words because they restricted me. During that time, I was doing what I was doing. So I don't so certain things now that my head is clear, but now
the pictures. Let me go get that box of pictures because I went through that box, cousin, and there was no pictures of Charles White. And so my mama, Charles White,
and that's who I'm trying to.
My mama told me to get with Robin. You remember Robin Black's daughter? You remember Cousin Black? Cousin Black had a twin.
Wait a minute.
Black's daughter.
You talking about our cousin Robin that used to be heavyset?
Yeah, it used to be heavyset, but she's slim now. She might have some pictures of.
She probably do because L Perry is L Perry her daughter, grandmother or something.
Yeah, that's Robin's. L Perry was Robin's granddaughter.
And I'm gonna tell you too, Epps, Michael Epps.
Michael Epps? We got Epps in our family?
Yeah. That's Al Perry's grandson too, if I'm not mistaken.
Who is Michael Epps, cuz?
Wait a minute. We got Epps in our family. We got Reed in our family.
Oh, I know.
That was Al Perry. Yeah, what was Al Perry married name?
Reed.
Right. Because I was giving it Aki Reed. Oh God.
Yeah, because they still Aki, all them. And yesterday I went down to Charlotte to see one of my homegirls, and I was away. I was 1 hour away from Whitmire. I gotta go down there, cousin, to see who's still down there. But they said that the Copeland homestead is still there.
I was gonna say that. Because what I wanted to do is go and visit.
We need to go down to Whitmire.
Right.
Being down there though.
Right. Now Kelly and her mother, because they was traveling back and forth a lot. They know a lot more. She helped me a lot when I went on to our when I was doing our ancestry. Yeah.
Aria, my daughter, put in a lot of stuff for Ancestry too, and I added some pictures in Ancestry too. So a lot of our family history, but cousin, And to all the 3 people in here with me and my cousin, the Copeland lineage goes white.
I was getting ready to say that.
It goes white. When you start looking at our ancestry, it goes to white folks.
Can you see that?
Who is that? Wait a minute, let me see the face. I can't see the face. That look like my granddaddy.
This is
L. Copeland?
this is Charles.
Who the hell?
This is wait a minute. This is Charles White and them father.
L. Copeland.
L. Ah!
Yeah, that's L. Copeland. That's Ellie. Yes, that's L. Copeland.
Yes.
His wife was Cornelia Copeland.
Right, and you know,
Damn, yeah.
and I think that's who that was. Who I showed you. That was Cornelius Copeland that I showed you. If I'm not mistaken. Now, his father.
Now, you know, Cornelia came out of Louisiana.
Did she?
Cornelia was Creole.
Whoa.
So that's where we get this. So even though I'm dark skinned, I have a red undertone.
Right.
My granny used to say that all the time. She said, "Oh, you look like my grandma." And she was talking about Cornelia. I had her complexion. And Granny used to say all the time that, well, you know, Granddaddy stayed with us before he passed. Like, we kept, my mom and my grandma kept him until he passed. He passed at our house.
Wait a minute. L?
Granddaddy Johnny passed at our house.
Oh, Johnny.
And Granddaddy, although I was very young, so like, I don't like November, December, January, because Granddaddy died in November. December, somebody else, I think Uncle Ed died. It was somebody else that died. January, my daddy died.
So like Uncle Ed died after your father.
Huh?
Uncle Edward died after your father. After your grandfather, I'm sorry.
My daddy died first.
Okay. Because no, what I'm thinking, see, I remember when Uncle Edward died.
Yeah. So my granddaddy, your Uncle Johnny,
right,
all of them. He was the first to go. And then after that, like, it was just like everybody started passing after Granddaddy.
And see, I remember Uncle Johnny. That's why I said was that him right there in the middle.
Well, let me go get a picture. Let me go get my altar picture. I'm gonna show you Granddaddy.
Okay. Thank y'all for still being there. I'm talking with my cousin. She used to preach, right? And she know Bible very well. So, you know, when we start seeing stuff as God move us forward in life, and it's not to knock the religion or the belief in anything like that. It's just that you begin to see something totally different. How certain religions, not all, tends to try to entrap and enslave our people. Even politics, because when I was talking with somebody else the other day, it's one and the same. Because I mentioned something about organized religion, and they were like, "Oh, that's politics."
Right. Like tell me, Stephen, our whole family was in politics.
Yeah, yeah.
So he go Granddaddy on his farm, Stephen. I got some more pictures.
And she was there. And she look, she was talking about. Wait a minute, bring it up a little bit more. You got. I can't see.
Can you see it, Steve?
You might have to send it. Oh, I think that might be on the Copeland family.
No, I put this on Ancestry.
Did you? Because I remember
this.
saying that on somewhere.
This is on Ancestry.com. I think I already put it on there. Yeah, that's Granddaddy. That's Granddaddy Johnny. Stephen, you know the white man took all his land and they have developed it into a whole suburb.
Wow.
They took all Granddaddy's land.
And nobody knew, basically. I mean, see, when
you know, Granddaddy, you know, our grandparents couldn't read.
Right.
Granddaddy couldn't read. He could count money, but he couldn't read. And so he signed it with an X because they told Granddaddy either he was going to go to jail because, you know, Granddaddy was running moonshine and
right.
behind his barn because, you know, Granddaddy grew chinchillas and long-haired rabbits. So when I see folks with clothes on, I'm like, you got that from a Granddaddy. But he used to run, you know, NASCAR. That came from Granddaddy Johnny. Because he used to run moonshine to Boone, North Carolina.
I wonder why you saying that. I wonder, cause it's a guy.
Was in here, man.
It's a guy that and I wish he would pop on because he's very his family very deep into race cards and stuff like that. Um um what's his name? God, they get outrageous.
So look, this is Bertha Rice. Bertha Rice is the one that raised my granny. Yeah, I got all these.
The reason why I'm saying that because
I'm glad I came on here with you. Oh, this is Bertha Rice. So Bertha Rice was my granny's aunt, but she raised Bertha Copeland. You see how they look?
Right.
Yeah. So Bertha, come to find out, Bertha Rice, right, was Victoria Dawkins' mother. Victoria Dawkins had 2 children by the slave master down there in Whitmore, South Carolina.
Right. And see, I'm gonna tell you this, what I found out too.
Yeah.
L Copeland.
Yeah.
His mother, his father was, YT.
Yes.
Now,
ancestry. His father was YT.
Right. Now,
he was a Jewish slaveholder.
Now, check this out.
Where we get our name from. Our name is Jewish, cousin.
Right. Now, check this out. I did not know, because I only read about L, that his mother had 3 other children.
Yes.
So it was 4 of them all together, but I'm not sure if they was all by the same YT man.
They were by the same YT man.
The same? Now, I'm going to share this with you too. It is a page that I am with. They are Copelands. They are white. They are Copelands. But guess what? It started out like Copley, Copla, something like that.
It's the variations of the name Copeland.
Right, yeah. Until it got to that. And I was seeing that in my search. And when I seen that page, I was like, oh my God, because they have the same, and that's what made me be a part of that. So I already know that basically because of my great grandfather, skipping over L.
You know his name was Elliot?
Yeah, Elliot. Elliot or Elliot?
No, it was Elliot. Ellick.
Yeah. Yeah, because I seen L or Eli, wait a minute. Yeah. Because it was breaking down.
L means, you know what L means in the Islamic.
No, go ahead. Just refresh my memory.
Ellic means L means in the Islamic religion, king.
King? Mm-hmm. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding.
Tell my mama, and he used to tell my granny, Bertha Copeland, that we originated out of the Mendika tribe.
Mm-hmm.
He remembered. L. Copeland used to tell him that we originated out of the Mendika tribe. Mm-hmm.
Well, see, you got to tell me something, because when I was doing my ancestry, I went back to like the 1600s. And
yeah, we stopped at the 1600s.
Yeah, and I was looking at
Cornelia's lineage all the way back to her mother to Africa. But when you start going back that far, it goes back to white European.
Right.
Wait a minute, hold up. White Jewish European.
But see, let me show you this.
Because Copeland is actually a derivative of Copeland. Coplin.
Now let me share this with you. When I went back, now I can only share this from a spiritual level, right?
No, go ahead.
Wait a minute. When I went back, to that, it was like it jumped me from there to when God said, I knew you before the foundation of this world. I put everything in. And he took me to Jeremiah. And basically
what, cousin?
Jeremiah first chapter, when he said, I came to you, when Jeremiah said God came to him in a dream, right? If you had listened to me earlier, it was like Jeremiah said God came to him in a dream. Jeremiah said Jeremiah, look, wait a minute. I'm trying to get.
I'm asking you this because my mother had a dream about Jeremiah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about you had a dream about cousin? Who is this?
But see, God told me. He said,
you know who that is?
Not straight out. See, I wish I could get on that. I can get on the page, but I seen some of them pictures that you showing me somewhere.
No, they on Ancestry. Arya downloaded it for us to
Okay.
keep. Yeah, my
Okay.
daughter, my oldest daughter, downloaded it.
And see, when I was doing the ancestry, they keep trying to invite me back. But a lot of the information that I pulled up and I call myself saving on ancestry is not there anymore. I mean, it's there if I start doing that again.
Like I had these pictures, and I don't know who these people are.
My thing is try to talk with Kelly if she's still doing it. Because what I was starting to do, um, when people would call to talk with me, I would let that was trying to, connect. I would tell them talk with Kelly because she was more in tune to a lot of the stuff than me.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Who is Antonio Copeland, cousin?
I was trying to pull him. I was trying to.
Antonio Rio
Right.
Copeland. Hey, Antonio, if you a cousin, come up.
Yeah, tell him I'm trying to pull him up, but he got a request as a guest.
Yeah.
Now look.
Cousin, you know who Antonio is?
No. DMX was a Copeland.
DMX is a Copeland?
Do you know Ray Copeland?
Are you serious? Is he one of our cousins?
Yeah, Ray Copeland. Slim.
I remember my mama saying Ray Copeland. I remember that name.
Well, Ray is an older guy. I mean, he's. I think Ray is probably younger than me. But Slim Copeland, Slim, up in Virginia, him and Ray Copeland are brothers. Now, I don't know who DMX father is, but he's a Copeland.
Obituary. Go ahead, Pat.
Now, I don't remember DMX running.
It said DMX was out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. But he used to hang out in Baltimore City.
Yeah.
In my running days.
I love me some DMX.
Yeah. In my running days, a friend of mine told me, he said, Steve, you don't remember DMX? I'm like, no, he said he used to rob people and all that with the pit bulls. But look, I thank God our paths didn't cross in that sense. Because I was not a pretty guy like I am now.
I know what you're saying.
Right. We all
polished right
and
now.
Then I'm gonna tell you this too.
I'm telling people that like I'm not what I used to be.
I know. And then I'm gonna tell you this too. I was chasing after his daughter and I didn't know it was his daughter.
Oh wow. Wait a minute, I'm on his obituary because I'm trying to see some. But it says he just talking about his rap career. He was born in New York.
They get ready to do something for him in December.
They're not saying nothing. I wanted to find out. So DMX was a cope. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and
so how you find out DMX was our cousin?
Well, what happened? This guy Maurice Thomas in New York, Yonkers, New York. Yeah. I was trying to get him to come to Baltimore City and work with me in opening up centers like his. So I seen him, DMX, and Russell Simmons in the community. So I thought they was going to city, building up in the community. Right. Then I found out through that process, about Slim. And Slim nickname is called Pinky. So anyway, we got to talking and I found out we was family. And his
father's name was Joe Baker.
Okay, so the mother must have been a Copeland.
Name was Arnett Simmons.
So Arnett Simmons.
His daddy's side?
Yeah, well, Ray Copeland and Slim, that's Slim Nick's nickname. He is their brother, son. So you know what? I'm gonna just say this right here. Yeah. Whoever their father is, all of them got different names, last names.
No, for real.
Cause I just realized it cause Ray Copeland.
Had different daddies,
right, something. Wait a minute. Cause Slim last name is not Copeland, but Ray Copeland is his brother, and their brother was DMX's father.
What?
Yeah, so I'm kind of lost with the last name and I connect. I'm, but they wait a minute. I'm trying to look at it.
His name, which is Simmons, but his daddy was actually a Copeland.
Right, but see now somebody somewhere right there, right? Their name they come from the Copeland lineage. Here you go right here. Wait a minute.
Okay.
His name is Slim Black. He's called Slim Black, right?
Yeah. His name's Slim Black.
Yeah. He's wait a minute. I'm trying to look up his profile. See, can I get his
So Slim Black was DMX's daddy.
Uncle. Oh, I just thought about it. Slim was sick in the hospital.
Yeah.
And DMX came to see him. So I asked him, I said, man, who was that guy right there beside you that looked like DMX? He said, yeah, that's my nephew.
So was DMX at Uncle Henry and Aunt Helen's 50th anniversary when we was all in Baltimore?
I'm not sure. But see, keep this in mind. I didn't get clean till 31 years ago. I was trying to watch it. So, I was like,
because I was really young when we came up to Baltimore for that. The pictures you got?
Uh-huh.
All the Copelands that had the white suits.
Right.
I was really, really young. I was still in elementary school.
Woo!
But I remember that because everybody had the name Michael Edward Copeland. There was like 5 of them. And my uncle was one of them. Michael Edward Copeland. Everybody, they had that middle and last name.
You was a baby.
Yeah, I was in elementary school when we came up there for Uncle Henry and Aunt Helen's anniversary. That's when all the Copeland family came together.
Right. Yeah. Now, I was there. Or was I there? I was there. I probably wasn't in my right mind, though.
None of us were.
Hey, look, oh my God, I missed it. But they was throwing a celebration for DMX on December the 21st, and I missed it.
December 21st?
Yeah, it's passed now.
I gotta go look at it.
I wanted to go up to his funeral and everything, but at that time, you had to, that's when COVID was out. So they wanted to make sure you had registered and everything. So I didn't make it. And my friend Thomas went because he know DMX and he know the family. So
DMX, they say he from Yonkers, New York, but did he grow up in Baltimore? Like, how did that happen?
He came to Baltimore. Maurice Thomas is from Yonkers, New York. So he deals with a lot of our entertainment people and stuff like that. So that's where DMX was at on that picture with him. When I seen him, he was in Yonkers, New York. Now, I tried to reach out to him to let him know that I'm here for him because I know he had stopped doing certain things for a while and he got caught back up.
He had a substance abuse,
right,
which we always have on a couple of
right. And I tried to reach out to him just to feed him with positive information and knowing the type of people he's around. Somebody always doing something, you know what I mean? So it was basically to encourage and motivate him. On the other end, to encourage and motivate him.
Wait, I got an echo. Wait a minute, cousin.
So it was basically to motivate him.
Wait a minute, I got an echo. Wait a minute, I'm gonna draw. Okay, I'm back, cousin. Actually, we had a VHA. What's that called? We had a VHS recorder with a tape on it. My granny had taped the whole 50th wedding anniversary. All the Copelands there. Uncle Henry and Aunt Helen wanted to copy it, so my granny sent it to Baltimore. It never got to Baltimore.
Wow.
It never got there. Somebody probably thought it was something nasty on it.
Right.
but it never got there. And I wish we could find that VHS because all the Copeland family is on that. Uncle Henry, Uncle Ed, my granddaddy was there. Aunt Mag was there. Like all
wow.
the was there.
Yeah. Now, Corey, DJ Spank Copeland.
Corey Copeland?
Yeah.
Okay.
You familiar with him? He's into music too. He's into music and he know a lot like with DMX, 50 Cent.
I did not know DMX was a Copeland. That's crazy.
And since you mentioned Robin,
so Robin will have more pictures because I was looking through our box of pictures and my mama said that Robin probably got a picture of your granddaddy, Charles White Copeland.
And see, I had asked Kelly because her grandmother, from what I understand, Charles White Copeland had lived with their grandmother too. So I thought she might.
Family was really tight.
Yeah,
that Copeland family was tight.
See what you said, and this is what hurt me with what's going on because the way my mother raised us, and see, my kids don't know that history, but the way my mother raised us, we was always tight. No matter what went on with us, we was always tight.
My mama talks about that a lot. Like the Copelands are a very tight-knit family.
Yeah.
You don't let nobody come into the family.
You right.
You don't infiltrate into the Copeland family. And my mom, and you know, we the last ones, Steven.
And to see, that's what got me cool. Once my life turned around, it was like that mold was broke from us doing what we used to do. So when I look at my daughters and I look at my sister kids, because I raised my sister kids too. I did foster care with them and everything. So I realized one day that mold was broke. You know, I'm broken now. Where because of what we did, they're not into that. You know.
Right.
And I realized that mold was broke. You know. And
yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I honestly, cousin, want to go to Whitmire and buy some land just to have it.
Well, I'm gonna say this because
y'all reading the Copelands out, but we still here. But you know, the Copeland homestead is still in Whitmire.
Yeah,
only Copelands can stay on that land.
Kelly sent me a picture of that. Now, I didn't see where they built other houses around it. I was told they built other houses. Right. Now, from what I was told too, because it's historic, I know certain things you can't do, but in the outside, in the inside, you can kind of remodel. But when it comes to the structure,
have indoor plumbing. From what Kelly told me.
Yeah, see.
Hey, what's his name? He'll Reed. He's living in the house now.
Right. And
remember, it's Black's son or nephew. No, it's Black's nephew that live in the house now.
Now, Epps, let me see, Michael Epps. If I'm not mistaken, that's
Michael Epps.
If I'm not mistaken, that is Al Perry's grandson. Look him up. Ty Patterson is family too. Okay. Yeah, Ty Patterson. Now, early on during my times when I was doing the history thing, I was connecting with a lot of them. I think they up in Virginia, but I was starting to connect with a lot of like the Copelands branch out real simple.
Yeah, the Copelands are huge.
Yeah,
it's a huge family.
Yeah, and see, my Charles, my mother's mother, last name was Williams. So I'm more familiar with the Copeland family than I am the Williams family. Now, my Uncle Robert, before he passed away, he was in his 90s. That's my mother and brother, yeah. But he's not a Copeland. See, Charles White wasn't his father. But because he's under the Williams, that came from his mother. Right, but that part of the family, the Williams family, I'm not really familiar with because
that's how I am with my dad's side.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but like the Copeland family, they have so much on ancestry. It goes all the way back to Europe.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm telling you, like I was saying, when I got to the 1600s, because basically, you know what they say: if a man don't know where he came from, he won't know where he's going. Right. But what it did, it jumped me from that, and it showed me that God knew me before the foundation of this world.
You knew yourself.
Right.
That's in Psalm.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it was like before I put you in your mother's womb, I taught you everything you needed to do.
Why does my mother, that's her favorite song. That's one of her favorite scriptures.
Is it? Yeah, because I see now, mind you,
yeah.
I got ordained deacon, so I know you can relate to this. I got ordained deacon. And when I stepped outside my second marriage, I stepped off the deacon ministry. But I knew I could not stop ministering for Christ. I couldn't stop doing what he called me to do. So that's why I share my experience, strengths, and hopes and helping people that fell short in life to understand, keep moving forward, keep focusing on positive stuff, because we're going to stumble and fall. Stuff going to come in our way. So in that process, and to say this, because I'm serving Christ or the Creator, I don't want nothing to get in my way. This time, even and I'm looking to get married again if it happened and stuff like that. But my thing is, do not come in here telling me what to do, how to do it, because that's number one for me. And
that's that. You know what? And I'm the woman side of it.
Right. I got you. I already know that. I already got that.
You know, cousin, you know how you know that's me. That's my Copeland side. Don't be telling me what the fuck to do.
And then look, I'm looking at your name, right? And I'm like, yup, that's me. That's me. But now I listen to you and I love what you do. And the people that comes on
during his last, few months. So granddaddy instilled a lot in me. You know what I'm saying? My granny took care of him, and my mama took care of granddaddy until the day he passed. And look, Stephen, granddaddy was the one. He couldn't read and write. He couldn't even sign his name. But granddaddy Johnny knew how to count money. My granddaddy taught me how to count money. Yeah, see, you laugh because you know.
I know.
He taught me how to count money, though.
And then, see, I came out in the 10th grade. But what I try to help people understand, even though I have a 9th grade education, you can be successful. You can be successful. So
she did not go to college, but she read so many books. She read books, so you would have thought she went to college, cousin.
And see, I have no problem. Anything that. All right, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie Sprinkles. Peace to the guys. Peace.
Yeah.
Be with you.
That's Charlie always come on here and feed me some good stuff. Hey, Charlie, was you the one on Ed live? Because I said I meant to send you my number. And it hit me the other day. I'm like, because I was talking about what happened to me, and it was this guy on, and I'm trying to see, was it Charlie? He studied law. He studied law, right? And he was telling me everything basically that happened, and my goal is to sue Baltimore City and the Eastern District Police Department.
Listen, when you first told me what happened, I was thinking the same thing, but because of my job at that time, because I was contracted out to Baltimore, man, I couldn't say nothing. But yeah, you need to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and then see, on top of that, when I was over the hospital, they neglected me, and I had my feet operated on. So I told my lawyer,
"Why you have your feet operated on?
Well,
you got diabetes."
Yeah, and then see what happened. I asked them. My leg had swelled up, and because of the food I was eating, and I went downstairs. Okay.
I'm an American Alodio national, not a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
So what's that, cousin? What's that, Alodio?
Explain that a little bit more, Charlie. But yeah, he normally comes on and I love listening whatever he posts, because he basically inspiration to me.
Absolutely, because if you look at it, like L. Copeland's wife, who is Cornelia Fant,
Ah,
he came out of Louisiana. They were Creole. And you know, Creole is white, Spaniard, and what? Native American. I think on the Copeland side of the family, we never came from Africa. I think we were already here.
right. Yeah, we
But I
was.
can't
We
find the
was.
documents that support it.
Well, we was already here, and see what people. Wait a minute. I was
The
reading,
oldest people in the world come from Louisiana, and Cornelia Copeland came out of Louisiana.
and see what I started understanding too. BLKs was already here. And their point of bringing the Africans over was cheaper labor to get them to work these farms, and they didn't have to pay them as much. But it was already people here, and see that's where a lot of people get confused. That they think that everybody came from Africa in that sense. To slavery started. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
And if you look back further,
I did trace my seventh great grandma to Africa.
mm-hmm.
But like once again, the Copeland family, when it's like a stopping period, like you can't get over to who, like I can't find what plantation we were on. But the Copeland family goes back to white folks.
Charlie just said, because Charlie, I was trying to look up this too. America is Northwest Africa. And I'm gonna tell you this. I was looking, I said I'm gonna look up when did like this African American thing started. Because no, we are African. I mean, we are Americans.
They tried, and they were successful with some, but some of the Native Americans, which we call Indians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They enslaved too.
Right.
But they classified them on census records as Negro and not indigenous.
And
but because we have oral history, Stephen, we know that the Copeland side of the family was Jewish and Native American.
I could have swore, I could swear that N-word was on my birth certificate.
I bet you it was. It was on my granny's too.
Right, because when I'm telling you, and it was because I don't have my regular birth certificate now because what happened to me, my niece, it's a long story. But I don't know if I sent for a new one, but then when I got it, it was American. No. I'm trying to think of that name. The name they gave us now. Because I could have swore I could swear it was, I think it was black. But
yeah, they categorize us as black.
Right.
But if we go to Cornelia, if you look at Cornelia Copeland's unalive certificate, it tells you that's how I found her. And I went back, I was able to trace Cornelia's family all the way back to Louisiana, as well as L. Copeland. So my oldest daughter, loves French. And I was like, where did she get that from? She got that from Cornelia Fant coming out of Louisiana.
And see how you use the Fant name, and a lot of people don't know that. Yeah, it's Fant. It's Fant. A lot of people don't know. We are connected with the Fants as well. Kenneth, I'm trying to think of Kenneth's last name, but he reached out to me because I think he came from the Fant side. And
listen, I got a picture. This guy, I can't remember his name, but I connected with him on Ancestry. I had put a picture up of my mama, right, on Ancestry. He was like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's my mama." He was like, "Well, that looks like my aunt." How about he posted a picture, cousin, and the picture looked just like my mama. And she on the Font side. Yes, she on the Font Copeland side. They look just alike, Stephen.
I be looking at my when I be doing my lives, right? Some days it's like my face looks so white. I'm like, and I'll do this.
I can look at you and tell you a Copeland. You have the Copeland face.
But you know what I was told, which I never really paid attention to it, but because of my beard and everything, people used to tell me you got white in your family because it's red. It was red, brown.
You know the Copelands have a very precise nose. I
Uh-huh.
don't have the Copeland nose, but you do. Yeah, you got the whole Copeland. That's why I told you. I was like, Steven, you over there looking like granddaddy.
And I'm telling you, the picture you showed me.
You know what I'm saying? The signature face, and even how your beard and your
Charlie said, "Where you at?"
Charlie, I'm in the Carolinas. So granddaddy, I don't know how did my granddaddy get to North Carolina because they all fled to Baltimore coming out of Whitmire. Well, the story is that a YT woman was trying to come on to my great granddaddy and your great granddaddy, and they had to leave Whitmire, Union County. Yeah.
And see how
that's how my granddaddy got to North Carolina. But Uncle Ed, Uncle Henry, and my granddaddy, they all fled to Baltimore. Because, they had the factories there.
Right.
Uncle Ed worked for the Chrysler Company until he retired.
Charlie said he has a picture of his grandmother. Grandmother.
I have a picture of Victoria.
Yeah, and see, I was showing her a picture of my grandfather's father. And I'm looking at him because his father, from what I understand, was a white man, right? But the reason, but look, he black as all outdoors. But then it dawned on me that's because he was in the sun all day. I'm like, yeah.
No, for real, because all of them were sharecroppers at the time.
Yeah, and that's what I had to look at.
The Copelands worked the plantation.
And see, this was somebody told me from what I gathered too. Cornelia, wait a minute. Let me
okay. Yeah, take your time.
My great L mother lived in the house. Huh?
And I found L Copeland's great grandmother.
Did you?
And that's where it stops. Yes. Somebody's name was Sophia, but that's where it stops. I can't trace them no further.
But when they told me that when I realized L's mother lived in the house with wait a minute, somebody had sent me something to come up. She lived in the house with
if you need, like she could pass for white.
Right.
L too could pass for white. Wait a minute, Cornelia could too. They all could pass.
But now let me share this. She was living in the house with the slave owner. So somebody told me, they said if she lived in the house with the slave owner and his wife and children, said she must have been a beautiful woman. So now when they said that to me, you got one?
She was very light-skinned and she had long black hair. And granddaddy used to tell me that. He told all of us that his mother was very light with long black hair. She was Creole.
And I'm gonna tell you,
my oldest daughter loved French. Like she took French classes, and I'm like, "Girl, we take Spanish." She was like, "No, it was something in her, but that was Cornelia Fant's spirit."
Now let me ask you this too, because you had said something about I think this nonprofit that you was dealing with want to do some work here. You still work with them?
Nonprofit work.
Do you still work with them?
Yeah, because literally, I'm looking online right now for some grants.
All right, please do. Because, well, I'm a LLC, but I need people like them.
Oh, LLC?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to switch. I need people like that to come and
bring me on your team.
Come on.
Nah, man, you know I got you.
Right. But that's why I wanted to say something to you.
Where is that thing on? I found something too. I was looking up grants, and I found something, so I send it to you.
I got you, Charlie. Now my LLC is strengthening the community, right? LLC. Now what I did, I named it after my sister, the LaTanya D. Copeland House of Hope. I named it after her because I worked with the homeless and the less fortunate people, and God laid on my spirit to start rehabbing and revitalizing houses in Baltimore City to make them affordable for the low to moderate income people. So when I talk with developers and stuff, or I try to get them, even though they might be doing these $200,000-300,000 houses, work with me in the inner city community to help build back up in the community.
Right. No, for real. No, that's good. I'm gonna send you this grant I just pulled up. Oh, here it is, right here.
I'm just looking at what Charlie wrote too.
It says small business transition grant for new entrepreneurs. So I'm gonna send you this, cousin.
Now I'm gonna share this with you too,
and that's all I do for my job.
And Charlie, I'm gonna share this with y'all. I got this guy here in Baltimore City, him and his wife, down on North Avenue.
Cousin, I'm over Baltimore, right?
You over here?
I'm over Baltimore. Baltimore is one of my I research grants to help Baltimore. Yes. I'm over Baltimore. I'm over Washington, D.C., South Florida, and Cleveland, Ohio.
I got the guy that I partner with. Yeah. Harlow Margrove, right? Okay. Now, he works with returning citizens and stuff like that. Do you know they will not give this guy ex-offenders and stuff like that? They will not give this guy grant money. But you wouldn't believe. A lot of great people here. Huh?
Can he come on TikTok so I can talk to him? Because that's not, no.
No, this is what I'm talking. Look, this guy every month, y'all, he's feeding the community. Right now, he works for parole and probation.
Probation.
Right. Now, the goal is to help them turn their lives around. Now, mind you, I work with individuals, males and women with children. So I'm basically doing the things with the women and children. So any male that needs help, I can put him on with him. Now, he just got with Charm City, and they opened up a 40-bedroom facility. He asked me to become partners with him business-wise, because now guess what? He told me, he said, Steve, when people find out me and you partner up, they ain't gonna like it. I said, yeah, I know.
Do you have any dealings with the mayor in Baltimore?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how you feel about him, cousin?
I'm gonna just say this. I have respect for him, right? And now when he gave homeless services that $92 million, I sent him a message. I said, Brandon Scott, you know what I do? Why you ain't tell me? Get with me. Right. So he told me reach out to them. And now because of what I do, I reached out to the director of homeless services, because I had to skip over people telling me, well, we'll help you do this, we'll help you do that, and they never did. So I had to go to the top, real simple, of homeless services, HUD, and all of that, getting the director number, going straight to the source, because I'm letting them know what Steve Copeland do in the inner city. So I'm looking into, that's why I asked you, was you still doing what you're doing? Now, Brandon Scott, the reason why I'm saying this, because I used to be in his butt, but I learned that's when he was president of the the council president. So, and I was leaning on a lot of them, but I had to calm down and I had to back up and stop calling names because I was putting them on blast. So I had to back up and I had to respect where they at, because this is what I realized too. There's always somebody over top of somebody. Look where I'm going. That mainly when it comes to our inner city, our poor population, it's always somebody over top that's pulling strings. So anytime they ask your cousin to come and speak on anything, I'll do a little bit of research on it to get my point across. And what I'll come with that I found out, because they don't like it, because what I do, I come with my blue folder, right?
Absolutely. So you done your research.
Right. But look, this is what I do. hey, Van Brooks got this business over there that he working with the youth and blah, 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 blah. Then I'll say, David Cooper doing this with the community, because these are programs and nonprofits that's actually doing work to make a difference. And they look at me like, who the hell told you to say that?
Yeah.
Because I try to explain to people that you can run off at your mouth all day long. We know what the problem is. What is the solution? And when I come into town hall or we go to Annapolis or whatever, it's like, oh shit, there goes Steve Copeland. Scares me. So I told Fox 45 News, I said, if y'all want me to start coming out and questioning our politicians, because they talk a good game, but my thing is, what are y'all actually doing to resolve these issues? And a lot of them, even the ones that have ideas, if they into politics, they all about policies, not the actual work that should take place within itself. So my goal is to get with a lot of them too, who can get the type of funding that people like myself need to build back up in the community. So that's what I was talking about, Charlie. In the community. And so that's what I was talking about, Charlie. Yeah. And even with you, because I need people that's serious. I'm talking about like-minded people who really want to invest. And when I say invest, I know you want to get a profit for what you invest in. So I know you hear me, cuz. So look, that's why I was asking you again about that, because what the goal is too, I want to do the 501c3 under my LLC, because the goal is to open up 4 multi-purpose centers in Baltimore City.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me write this down so when I go look.
And to do music, art, theater, dance, and stuff like that.
Music.
Yeah.
Art, theater and dance.
Yeah. See, when I was growing up, 501c. Yeah, Charlie. Why is it 501c3? Well, 501c. And see, I know a lot of nonprofits, but my thing is, and I help them do what they do. I need to do my own thing. I have a 16-foot box truck. I get 8 pallets on it, so I get 5. I can get any products, right? I got people that will furnish your house, but the only thing is, Charlie, and cuz we need money to help move things too. So since
you gotta have money to make things right.
Yeah. So and the thing that really hurts me here in Baltimore City, a lot of people know where my heart is at. I can put up my Cash App and stuff and tell them to help me with this family, that family. It's like nobody, and it's not, I don't want to knock them now, but when it comes to the finances, that's the hardest thing. Yeah, I have an EIN number for my LLC. So the goal is just getting the finances. And sometimes people will look at you from the outside because your business is stable. And to them, it's like, he doing a great job. He getting the finances. He doing this and he doing that. He able to feed. But they are donations. Sometimes you have to have money. Huh?
Getting grants or federal money.
And I'm gonna tell you this too.
Your stuff right now. I'm gonna go look on see what the federal government got, because I'm gonna tell you, cousin, the federal government is trying to spend up the surplus of grants before Trump gets.
That's the same thing somebody told us.
Charge for looking up grants, just throw me a little something. But they're trying to spend up that money, y'all. So if you have an IP, if you have somebody, if you have an IN, if you have an IP, if you have an LLC, y'all better get that money.
Well, see, now I have the LLC. Marlo has the nonprofit. So now we together. Now, the goal is mainly with me. And I got this guy, and I'll tell you more about him later. But our goal is coming together to start. Wait a minute, because somebody's sending me a request to come up.
Oh, Charlie.
Is that Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie up on panel.
Okay, thank you, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Come on.
The gods.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
But I was saying, man, if you want to get funding for the government, you got to create a 98 EI number, which is a foreign number, and then you'll be tax exempt, and you have to fill out the 1041. So I'm saying you better get all your money back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, 1041, that's right. And that'll come from when you create the foreign trust. Because you guys got to understand, man, that we are foreign to the United States, but we are heir to the land. The United States is foreign to America. So you have to be foreign when dealing business with them so they can't mess with none of your stuff.
And see, that's why I need people in my life like this. And I actually been praying and asking God to put like-minded people here. You know, I love what I do.
EIN over, man. You got to do that in your legal name.
Yeah, you need to do that over.
My EIN?
Yeah. You're not supposed to use the social for nothing, man.
You use only your EIN, like Charlie said, is now your social. So now you, Stephen, are an entity or a business or an institute.
Oh yeah, baby.
Right.
We are all business because it's not a business, man. I am the businessman. Jay-Z said that.
The business.
Thank you.
And somebody else was saying the same things you just said.
And they own you because you're using their numbers to do business.
Absolutely.
But once you create your own numbers, they don't. I mean, you don't have to listen. You don't have to go by their policy codes and acts and resolutions, man.
Now wait a minute, because now mind you, because I'm a LLC, does it still go by their code?
You can make 100 LLCs, man.
Oh yeah, you can have a bunch of you can have multiple LLCs.
No, ma'am. You're in my band, not yours.
Yeah, because see, y'all are you teaching me some stuff, right? Yeah.
We are human traffic victims.
No, ma'am. No. Right. So when I say foreign, we're foreign to their company. That
absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So the Washington D.C., we're not a part of that. Mm-hmm. And that's the White House.
We're prisoners. If you look at prisoners of war, they're never part of the government. Now,
we're not a part of the state,
Stephen, but we're federal. Charlie, what me and Stephen have done is infiltrated the government.
And see, that's what I was hearing. That's what I was hearing. That's what I was hearing because of what I do here. But you know, we say things, but you don't have a clear understanding of what you're saying or what you're doing. I just know from the point of where I'm at streetwise and running off at my mouth, I know they don't like it.
Oh, shit. I'm going to show y'all how I operate in a minute, man. I don't have no state nothing, man. I don't have no state ID, state registration. And we're not supposed to have that unless you want to give up your God-given rights. And once you give up your God-given rights, you have no rights. So if you're going by policy codes, acts, and resolutions, that's not God's laws. God's laws is the first constitution. Everybody can do what they want to,
right,
as long as your friends or someone else do the same as you. I'm not going to go out there and beat on people and, rob people. So I'm cool.